What's up, guys? So William Crease, you had asked about my thoughts on Lee Morrison's combative system. I think it's urban combatives, bro. I'm a huge fan of Lee Morrison's system, urban combatives. I haven't yet gotten a chance to train in it. I was supposed to go actually this winter, but things change, plans change, people change, and I had to give that up to do some other stuff. So I'm actually going to be trying to get over to the UK, London, maybe this summer, and we'll see how it goes. I'll try to do an interview with Lee Morrison. I'll try to do an interview with Lee, and I'll also obviously try to film as much as I can. My theory on his combative system is that it's one of the better ones you can study. Problem is, unless you're in the UK, you're gonna have a hard time doing it like all the time, like unless you're about distance learning. But the problem is, you really have to be putting in your work every week and getting better progressively. You can't just watch a video and be able to cha-cha-cha and boom, boom, boom. You have to do it hands-on with live resistance every week, every other week, every so often to become progressively better at what you're doing. The other thing that I really don't like about it is it's not really grappling based. The problem is that any system that's really not grappling based is gonna leave you with huge areas of undeveloped resources, you could say. So if you're going up against somebody who's an MMA guy, a wrestler, a BJJ fighter, and you don't know much about being on the ground, then you're really going to be in some trouble there. Another thing is, if you get knocked down to the ground, obviously that's a big issue. If you can't fight your way back up, then that's going to be a big issue. If you can't defend yourself on the ground, that's again a big issue. Now he does touch on it, and I know Lee probably has wrestled or something like that. I've watched his videos where he talks about it, but he doesn't really go in depth about it. His thing about bite your way out of it and strike in the groin and stuff is that's well and fine for your average guy who needs some tools to get back up and fight, or some tools to survive on the ground. But again, if you're being attacked by a BJJ guy or an MMA guy, well, number one, you've got bigger problems than I can start to help you with here. You need to get your ass into the gym and train every freaking day. But again, if you are going up against those types of individuals, another important reason to train and train hard. But my thoughts on Lee Morrison himself are a little bit different than his system. Well, I think his system is lacking in some areas, such as the groundwork. And another area that his system is lacking is very simple. Now, you could say that that's lacking or that that's good, right? Because if it's a very simple system, anyone can learn it rapidly, which is kind of what a lot of these combatives things, street-based self-defense, it's meant to be learned rapidly and programmed into your muscle memory. So it's a lot of knee strikes, headbutts, elbows, a little bit of punching, but not boxing. Grab them up, punch, punch, punch. Real simple street stuff that Lee, learned about not only in his martial arts background, but also as his during his time as a doorman. A lot of these UK guys really get their start doing doorman work over there in London and other areas of the UK that aren't really great neighborhoods, right? Like London's a safe place, but the Brits like to fight. I spent a while over there, and it was a different culture, mate. Like, those guys like to brawl. It's just, they love it, and I love it too, but they are 10 times more about the fisticuffs than Americans. We've gotten pretty pussy over here, and they've remained very much aggressive and very much about that fighting pub culture, which is cool to see. But again, you don't want to be on the wrong end of it. And a lot of these UK systems are all about the headbutt, because that's a thing I've noticed over there. Brits do is, hey mate, blah, boom, and they get you with a headbutt out of nowhere. So these UK systems are really great to study, to be honest with you. If you want to learn how to fight rapidly, quickly, and fucking brutally effectively, I'd study Lee Morrison. I'd study, there's another Aussie guy out there, I forget his name, but I think he's in Japan now. You can just look it up. It's like something Combatives, but he's been around forever. There's another guy that I used to learn NLP from, and I'm forgetting, but I'll try to throw it into the description here, down here. Not the description, but down here. These guys are all great to learn from. The Brits seem to really have a very good grasp on what it takes to defend yourself. And Combatives, they've been doing it since they've been a nation. They're a small island, and that island for a long time has been a garrison of soldiers going overseas for the crusade, to fight France, to fight Spain. Like, they've just been fighting forever, and they still want to fight. What do I think of Lee Morrison himself? Now, I haven't met the man, so on a personal level I can't tell you, but the way his brain works when developing stuff about combatives and combatives training specifically, fucking genius. This guy has so much information. It's just impressive to watch his videos and him progressing, and just as he gets older, he seems to get smarter and wiser, and he knows how to put things together to train your body's mechanical movements in such a way that it works, and you can see guys getting results quickly. So that's my thoughts on Lee Morrison. You know, as a combatives trainer, I think he's brilliant. I think anytime you get the opportunity to study with him, do it. I think anytime you can learn and watch his YouTube videos, do it. If you have the money and buy his products, that's probably a great thing too. So yeah, definitely Lee Morrison's awesome. I definitely watch his stuff. I know what you're talking about. I've definitely taken some insight and some wisdom from him in the past, absolutely 100%. And I will continue to do so. I never rip anybody off. I never, you know, will take a technique from him or like a line from him and say that's mine. No, but I will always kind of like look at these other master trainers who have been doing it for way longer than I, and definitely absorb as much wisdom as I can and spit it back at you guys whenever I can. So that's my thoughts on Lee Morrison. I think he's great. I think you should definitely train with him if you can and learn from him if you can. So William, I thank you for your time, bro. I thank you for the question. Another thing I want to say is you've been with me for a while, so thanks for subscribing, man. Guys, until next time, please remember that you are your first and last line of defense, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers, motherfucker.
See the tension, look at my anger. See my aggression, look at my face. See the tension, look at my anger. Face the aggression.